Hello everybody, here we are and let's simply get started from here on, and I hope everything's clear right now. One thing is here that my video will not be shown because video camera is actually being used from Chrome itself, and because of that thing that's not gonna be visible, and remaining things are gonna be fine. So let's simply continue. And one more thing, this time I will be just simply turning the music off, just my mic is going to be on and only the voice is gonna be there. That's it in the video. I hope this is gonna be better. I'm not even sure, but let's see whether it gets any better, or to make it even better I can say instead of keeping it 35 I'm gonna be keeping it 40 or something. So let's see, I'm gonna be checking the audio quality, exactly how the audio quality is right now, and on the basis of that thing I'm gonna be going ahead with the things. So let's see for now audio quality, exactly how the audio quality is right now, and on the basis of that thing I'm gonna be going ahead with the things. So let's see for now audio quality, exactly how the audio quality. Okay, it seems to be quite okay. Let's continue from here on, and the next thing that I'm gonna be doing, first of all, this, I hope I'm not gonna be facing the network issue. As for the camera is actually being used by this right now. So on this application I'm live, not even live, this is the application that I'm actually working on, and ultimately it's the camera is actually being used by this, and because of that thing of course I will not get the option to just simply kind of use the camera on OBS. So this is how it's gonna be going on. And when it comes to actually the plans overall, this is how the things are actually going on over here. So first of all, come on, first of all the user is added. Whenever the user is added, let's simply start working on the things. So where am I? First of all, user got connected. So how many things have I worked on? So ask, connected, a request, meeting, grant permission, success, all these things I have already worked on. And right now the next thing is that whenever the user is added, I'm just informing others, and when I'm actually informing others, at that time I have to create a new peer connection and I have to change the UI. And once the connection is actually ready, at that time I have to create the offer on when negotiation needed, whenever it gets triggered, offer is going to be created. And when does this get triggered? Whenever I add something to the peer connection. So whenever I add video and all, so that as soon as that is added, so this peer connection gets but even before that, on negotiation needed, peer connection is going to be created, and this will, I think, initially it will get triggered. And as soon as this gets triggered, no, just a minute, I'm definitely missing something, and that missing thing is what am I doing here? First of all, connection got established, and once the connection got established, so on negotiation needed, I just simply set this, and this on negotiation needed, this gets triggered whenever the peer connections, I mean whenever I add the offer there. That's simple. When I add the peer connection, not even peer connections, that is adding the tracks, or just whenever I just add something. So let me even just make a Google search here. When does this get triggered here? So I'm not even quite sure exactly when this gets triggered, this particular event. When does this event get triggered? Just like this, let's go ahead. So event is triggered in WebRTC when the RTC peer connection thinks it needs to renegotiate the connection. It's simple words. It fires when something changes in the connection that requires a new offer and also exchange. When does this trigger? So it is triggered mainly when you add a new track. So whenever I'm adding a new track, at that time it gets triggered. I remove the track, I add ultimately whenever I'm gonna be adding a new track, at that time it's going to be triggered. And ultimately this is where the connection is actually gonna be ready. Once the let me make it like this. So this will be responsible for creating a new peer connection. So a new peer connection is going to be established. Once that is done, this is gonna be responsible for that. And once this particular thing is done, then whenever on negotiation needed happens, ultimately this gets triggered. And when will this get triggered? When I actually And I think because of this thing I was just simply rendering it there, because of course it needs to offer needs to be created and set in the local description. But before even that, over here, whenever this on track happens, so not even this on track thing I'm talking about, so whenever I click on that camera, so whenever video process happens, so this is the video process section, event process audio, set connection, not really getting that video. Okay, this is the video process section, and inside this, at last, what am I doing? At last, not even this particular section, this video process will happen when new video state, so whenever the state changes, and this is managed when I click on the button. So as per the state, if the state is equals to none, then of course I will not be doing anything, rather I will be removing the video stream and all, and of course I will be sending it back to the user. So this is the thing that will be happening. And if the that is actually equals to camera, so in that case the main logic is actually gonna be here, so I will be getting the audio stream or the video stream, and at the end I'm gonna be updating it. And once it is actually updated, lastly, if that is equals to camera, in that case I'm just gonna be changing these things. So webcam and present now, if that's equals to screen share. Am I missing something here? The thing is that when I'm actually saving them there, and when should the offer be created? Offer should be created when the peer connection is I've added the what the offer should be created as soon as I have added tracks to the peer connection, and as long as I haven't added tracks to the peer connection, the offer should not be created. Then isn't that gonna be crazy? Okay, the question is, how will the WebRTC connection will established if the users aren't adding tracks to the PC? This is the core of how WebRTC works internally. You are building a meeting, so understanding this property is very important. First, understand one rule. WebRTC connection is established using offer, answer, and as candidate. Tracks are just a media attached to that connection. So connection does not wait for tracks to exist. So two people scenarios. Tracks added before creating offer, most common. So create RTC prepare connection, add tracks, create offer, send offer, then this connected. But ultimately create offer, send offer, remote creates answer, ICE exchange connected, and PC add track, local video track, and stream. So local video track, whatever the local video track I have, and I will be giving it the stream, and await what happens. Create offer runs. What happens? Create offer runs. It looks at all current tracks. It generates SDP including those tracks. Scenario tracks added after connection is established. This is where your question comes from. Is if a connection is already established, you do PC add a track. So on negotiate, not really this one. My question is, if I create the meeting and don't turn on mic and camera, in that case on negotiation will not trigger. That simply means offer will not be set. So now this is a very sharp question. You are absolutely thinking correctly and all. Okay, fine. So create this. Do not add mic and track. Do not add a camera track. Wait for on negotiation needed. And you are asking, since no tracks are added, on negotiation won't fire. Does that mean no offer will be created? Short answer, correct. If you rely only on negotiation needed, then no offer will be created, because nothing changed that requires negotiation. So but here's the important part: WebRTC does not require tracks to create an offer, so you can manually create an offer anytime. So this is how you can just manually create the offer, even with no audio, no video, no tracks at all. It will still generate an HTTP. What will that HTTP contain? If no tracks exist, it may contain no media sections or empty transceivers depending on browsers, but the connection can still establish for data channel, future media, and ICE connectivity. Real projects, real world practice like Zoom and Google Meet. When you join meeting, even if camera off, mic off, they still create an offer immediately. Why? Because they want ICE connection established, peer connection ready, and future negotiation is smooth. Okay, the correct path: you should not depend on negotiation needed to create the first offer. So when user joins meeting, const or DCP directly create the peer connection here, and then create the offer, and this is how it's gonna be going on. So on negotiation is not going to be created. It's just as simple as that. Yeah, it kinds of makes sense. Some apps add inactive transceivers at start, so these are the ones. Okay, so I have to create the offer directly, and apart from this particular offer, mainly when it comes to this particular point, so at the end I'm just simply updating the media. So whenever I just click on the camera, so this is gonna be the event process in the sense, when I click on the mic, and at the end of the day, if the mic is actually on, at that time updating the media senders. So these media senders will be updated every time. So whenever I click on the mic, these media senders are updated. That simply means I'm adding the track to the peer connection. Okay, same here as well. When I click on this, that's fine. And apart from this this video process, whenever I am clicking on the videos, then media will be updated automatically. So if that succeeds, in that case update media center, so they will be updated, and that's fine. So this is working well, but the issue is that if I directly, once it gets reloaded directly, at that time what will happen? So in that particular case, when I'm directly inside this, the peer connection will not get established. Event handling, let's check this thing out. This is not something I'm talking about. The thing is that as soon as the user joins, camera and both the things are already off. Okay, if the camera and mic, both of them are already off, that simply means negotiation needed will not happen. So let's even try this thing out, whether it's actually gonna be working as expected or not. Let's see it. I'm gonna be running this one. npm run cd npm start. It turns out another one is already running. Let me stop it. There's a problem with this code right now. Let me see whether it actually works as expected or not. The problem is this, on negotiation needed. So whenever the connection gets established, so ultimately when am I creating the offer? That is something that I have to check. And one more question to the AI: if the connection is established without the offer, not even without the offer, without the tracks, should I create the offer again when the tracks are added? This is the exact right for, okay, forget about this. Connection is already established, later you add tracks, you must renegotiate. That means creating new offer. Why? Because the original SDP did not include those tracks. That's right. So when you do add track, this WebRTC says the media description has changed, the need to inform the remote peer, so on negotiation needed. In that time on PC on negotiation needed, and inside that handler create a new offer. Why actually happens internally, initial connection. So offer say no media, answer one, no media, answer one ICE candidates. Later add track, negotiation needed, offer there are gonna be two, now contains video M line, answer gonna be two, the connection remains alive, and only media description updates. Correct pattern, you don't decide should I create offer again. Later WebRTC call this particular thing. So pc.signal state, if that's not equals to stable, return, and if that is equals to stable, so create the offer. That's all important, you should not do this. Add check, directly calling here blindly. So because if signaling state is not stable, you can cause negotiation collision, especially in the multi-user apps. Does that mean I need to create the offer once manually for getting the connection established, and the second time when negotiation needed triggers? That's exactly how it works. Okay, so first manual, when a user joins the meeting, mic off, camera off, you should still create an offer to establish signaling connection. I see these are the things, so at the time it's gonna be created automatically. Second offer will automatically be created, and then of course it will be sent. Interesting stuff. Okay, so this was the issue, and kind of it's been resolved right now. And the thing that I actually wanted to check whether it is running right, yeah, on 3000 port. So I can go to this particular section, localhost and 3000 slash action.html. Let's go here, directly click on new. This is going to be the username, and as this is the username, at that time permission granted is true, and I'm getting both of them, so I'm just simply rendering them. But this does not mean both of them are, I mean peer connection has been established. And if I actually wanna check whether the peer connection is actually established or not, for that thing, how can I check it? I can check the state. So web chrome / WebRTC internals, like this, and these are the two ones that are running. For this one, if I actually have a look at this, so on connection state change, that is still new, and when it comes to this one, that is still new. That simply means connection state is still new, connection hasn't been established yet. Now if I turn the video on, if I come back here, if I turn the video on, and once it actually starts using the video, I can come back here, and right now it is actually connected. Wow, got it. So this is how it actually works. So though they are gonna be visible here, but the connection is not gonna be established. So as soon as I get the user, I have to just simply show the particular user here. And when it comes to the audio, so as soon as you click on the video icon, only then the video will, I mean the connection is going to be established, and then two users are actually going to be connected. Apart from this is one of the ways, and I think this is kind of okay. Only when you click on the video, the RTCP peer connection should get established. This is fine, let's continue with this. Close this, and same is gonna be actually happening here as well. Get rid of this. Coming back to this, let's simply get rid of it. And right now I have to go to my main project, and let's simply start working on this one. So far, of course, I'm running nothing. And right now one more thing that I have to handle, whenever I just reload the page, at that time the socket connection, one of the socket connection gets disconnected automatically. So let me handle that disconnection, and after that I will be going ahead with the things. So let's close everything. Same thing is actually gonna be happening here. I have two things, I have backend and frontend. If I go to backend source in socket.ts, over here I have many events to listen. So whenever the socket connection is ready, then ask to connect, then grant join permission, and one more event that I will be listening to. Grant join permission is fine. So connection, there could be possibility that there is some kind of error. So socket dot on, and there can be some kind of error. In that case, CLG error connecting to the socket, error establishing the socket connection. So where else? So when it comes to this, I'm directly having it here. Let's even check this thing out. I had one more file here. Yeah, the good thing is that I actually have many projects. That is a good stuff actually. That simply means I can go through all of them whenever it's needed. But which one is that? Video call. I think this is the one. Public modules. Yeah, this is the one that I need to just simply have a look at. So let me open this as well. Open with the code. And let me see how am I managing the things here. Again, this is peer-to-peer connection related code. This only 2 people can join in this one. You cannot let many people join the meeting. Only 2 people can talk to each other, and multiple calling is something that I'm actually working on right now. But the important thing that I mainly wanted to know more about here, that is WebRTC WebSocket connection. And whenever the WebSocket connection actually gets established, in that case, what am I doing? Whenever the WebSocket connection actually gets established, set WebSocket connection, register socket events, and this mainly happens inside main.tsx, main.js actually. This is where I have it. The connection gets established, then I have all the socket related events, and inside this I'm listening for on open. So apart from this particular thing, just below that I have these things, handle, error and all. So ultimately I do have everything. So let's go to the main file. And which one is the main file? This is gonna be the let's talk, right? So over here I'm listening for the events like error, and apart from the error, let's have one more thing, and that's gonna be socket.on. That's gonna be disconnect. So whenever it gets disconnected, at that time things are actually gonna be going on like this. And I already have this socket over here. So whoever user gets disconnected, then this will get triggered, and at that time what am I supposed to be doing? Okay, in this particular situation, first of all I want to find the user who actually got disconnected. So const disconnected user. So disconnected user, this is gonna be like this. And as I have meeting participants, so meeting participants dot find, I'm gonna be finding that particular user. Do I need to do it? Yeah, of course I need to do it. Then I'm gonna be finding the participants. Participants will have their connection ID just like this, and over here I'm gonna be matching the connection ID with the socket.id. So this is how I will be getting the disconnected user. Once I got the disconnected user, after that I have to find the remaining users. And remaining users in the sense remaining users who actually belong to the same meeting. So const remaining participants, just like this. Remaining participants I will have to filter. So I have meeting participants here, meeting participants here, and now I have to filter. What do I have to filter? I have to filter those participants who belong to the same meeting. So participants meeting ID, if that's triple equals to disconnected user dot meeting ID. If that's equals to disconnected user meeting ID, that means those are the ones who belong to the same meeting. and just after that, once the user actually left, I will even be getting their length. So participants count, and that's actually gonna be remaining participants dot length. So this way I even got the participants count, and right now I have to just let other participants know about the disconnection of the new user. Okay, for that particular thing, what can I do? Remaining participants dot for each, I'm gonna be getting the participants from here, just like this. Once I actually got the participants, after that socket, I have to just emit the message to this particular user. So to participants dot connection ID, and what do I have to do? I have to emit the message. And what will be the message? First of all, what will be the event? The event is going to be inform others about disconnected participant, just like this. So inform others about disconnected participant, and from here I will actually be just sending some data, and data will contain what? Data is actually gonna be containing few things here. First of all, the data will be containing the information related to that disconnected user. So how about just simply adding the whole disconnected user here? This disconnected user will contain the information about the new user. So I can just simply say disconnected user. Won't it be better idea? Like I'm just simply adding the whole disconnected user. What all it contains? It contains this disconnected user. It mainly contains the meeting participants. What is the type of meeting participant? Ultimately, when it comes to these meeting participants, they contain this. Ultimately, if I can click on this meeting participants array of this. So connection ID is going to be sent. Connection ID of that particular user who got disconnected. Meeting ID. I'm sending the name. I'm sending the host. What else could be better than this? One more thing, let me send over here, and that's gonna be participants count. This is also going to be sent. Once this data I have sent, then I will be getting it on the client side. So this is actually the event that I'm actually emitting from here. I can go back to the client side, and on the client side I'm actually listening for the events inside services socket.ts. Over here I'm actually listening for all the events. So the first one was the connector, then a request to join, then inform others. I mean, there are many ones, and these are the events that I'm actually listening to. Lastly, I'm gonna be listening one more event here on inform others about a disconnected participant, and I will be getting the data over here. So it's somewhat gonna be like this. And when it comes to this data, so this data will contain the type meeting participant. So it's not just this much. The type of this data is gonna be something different here. Data is declared but its value never read. Ultimately, what can I say? I will be getting two things. I will be getting this data actually contains everything, right? Okay, that's fine. That simply means the type of this data is going to be meeting participants, plus the type is actually gonna be meeting participant, and one more thing is gonna be here, and that's gonna be participant count. Participant count, that's gonna be number. How about this? So this is actually gonna be the type of it. I know it's quite too much, but okay, never mind. So ultimately this data will contain two things. It will be containing the meeting participants related type, and then this is gonna be the extra type. Later I can create a different folder for the types and all. I have different files for the types, but for now this is fine. And once I actually got my data, right now this data type will contain these two things, meeting participant type and this participants count. And once it contains both, now what will I be doing? First of all, over here I don't even need the data. The important thing is that change the UI. First of all, change the UI in the sense that particular user got disconnected. So in that case, others should not be informed, like others should not be informed about that particular user. I mean, they should be informed, and that user should be removed. So change the UI. Change the UI in the sense remove the video container, just like this. I mean, something like this needs to happen. And apart from this particular thing, what else do I need to do? Disconnect socket, and ultimately these are the things that I need to do. Change the user count if needed. So ultimately these are the stuff. But first of all, when it comes to changing the UI, so I have to remove the video container. The question is, if the user actually gets disconnected, let me first of all disconnect the socket. For disconnecting the socket, I can say socket.disconnect. I mean, this should be fine. So this is how the socket actually gets disconnected. Right now I have to just change the UI. The question is, how am I going to change the UI? And the other question, how am I even gonna be creating the UI? Because over there, what happened, as soon as user disconnected, I had the reference of that particular user. Once I got the reference, I just made that hidden. Okay, and so it just got hidden. But here, how about maintaining a state, and that state contains the information about all the users, and on the basis of that thing they are shown? Going to be good way. So I can say right here I'm gonna be having an array that will contain the users who are in that particular meeting. Right now, what all states do I have? Inside features, meeting, and inside meeting slice, this time I should go, and I have my joining participants. Okay, participants count, permission denied, open model and all. So these are the things that I have, and inside this one I have permission connections, peer connections. So these are the connections that actually got established, and once the user actually reloads the page, so that is kind of a connection that got disconnected. So okay, that particular connection got disconnected. In that case, as I already have these peer connections, okay, so using for me to create an array, and that array will be responsible for disconnecting and all. So okay, this can actually be done. I can only get the values of this, and once I got the values, that simply means I have all the connected users and their information. And but this is going to contain the peer connections in the sense peer connection object. So this is not something that I'm looking for. So in that case, where should I keep the new variable? Meeting media slice, this will contain the information related to the media, and meeting slice. So let's simply have it inside meeting slice. And what is the next thing that I'm gonna be having? And that's gonna be meeting participants. So I'm gonna be having meeting participants here, so that I can just simply render this value whenever it's needed. So I have this name. The next thing that I will be having, meeting participants, just like this. This meeting participants is actually gonna be an array, and the type, let's keep it any type for now. I'm gonna be giving it a proper type, but just simply going with the flow right now. And open model just below this, meeting participants, and this is just simply gonna be an array. This is going to be array of all the participants who are actually connected, in the sense who got connected via socket. So yeah, this is how I'm gonna be having all of them here. And when it comes to the type of this, so the type of this meeting participants is actually gonna be meeting participant, so the same type, and but this is gonna be an actually array. So there are gonna be meeting participants, but this will contain all the participants who actually joined the meeting and all. So this should be fine, don't you think so? At least yeah, it feels to be right, but let's see. We'll see it in action. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't work, we'll do something. And what will I actually do here? Whenever inside the services, when it got disconnected, at that time, and now as I already have the number of meeting participant, In that case, I don't even have to send the count. I needed to send the count because I had all the participants on the backend side. Right now I have all of them on the front end side as well, and that simply means it's no use sending the count. So I can just simply get rid of this type from here, and from the database I will be removing this participant count. The simple thing is that I'm not gonna be sending this participants count, because my front end will save the state of all the participants who are connected. So it's somewhat gonna be like that. And somewhat, what kind of spelling, I mean, what is this? It's somehow it's gonna be like that. Okay. And when I get it here, then I will be just doing one thing. I have dispatch here if I'm not wrong, and I will be setting what? I will be setting the meeting state. So set meeting state just like this when it comes to setting that. So meeting participants are gonna be here, and when it comes to these meeting participants, that's actually an array. So set meeting participants, and as that is an array, in here this meeting participants is actually an array. That simply means I need to have the previous ones, and I need to add the new ones here. Interesting. For now I can go with one thing. I could already get the meeting participants here, so I will be just simply giving it the array. It will contain all the previous meeting participants, and it will contain all the new ones. So this is how it's gonna be going on. So in that case, there's one more way if I'm not wrong. So set meeting participant, and this way I will be getting all the meeting participants. And once I'm getting all the meeting participants, so what can I actually do? I will get the previous values. I'm not sure whether this is right or not, but let me see. So set meeting state, when I'm setting the meeting state, so previous state simply gives me the previous state, and now I'm gonna be just simply returning from here. And not just that, I have to return, but what do I have to return? I have to return an object, and inside that particular object I will get the state. So previous dot meeting participants, missing something. This previous state contains everything, so if I directly destructure that, that's not gonna be a good thing. So in that case, I have to return, what do I have to return? Okay, set meeting state, at the end of the day I have to return an object. That's fine. And as this object is returned from here, this object should be containing the meeting participants. So meeting participants, and whatever the value I return from here, that particular value is actually gonna be contained, will be set to the meeting participants automatically, because I have the state just like this. Now as I am already getting the previous participants, all of them, so what I can actually do, dot 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 previous dot meeting participants. So in this way, meeting participants, I will get all the participants, the previous ones, and just here I will be adding the new ones too. Adding the new ones in the sense, I already have my data, and that data is the type of the meeting participant. So that data is actually an object, and that object I'm just simply gonna be saving here. And this is how things are actually getting done. As for this previous value, this previous value is actually gonna be containing all the types, in the sense, if I go to set meeting here, so it actually contains all of this. That simply means export meeting state, it actually contains all the meeting state, and that's strange. In that case, let me come back here again, let me be there. If I come back here, not maybe here, not even there, maybe here, yeah. So this previous simply contains the meeting state. So meeting state, I could get it directly from there, and this is how it can be used, this particular meeting state. And as it contains everything, so I'm gonna be having it like this. Or even better, okay, let's have it like this. I can do the other way as well. I can just simply destructure it even more, and I can just simply get the meeting participants. But Even this much should be okay. So let me just get it checked by the chat GPT whether this is actually right, or I'm just thinking that it could be like that. This is related to a meeting socket, so let's carefully analyze your code. Logical problem. Event name, inform others about disconnected participant. Someone left the meeting, but your code does this. Meeting parts. Okay, someone left the meeting. I'm doing it the other way. I'm actually adding the user. That's my bad. I'm sorry. But the the upper one was correct, but the logic itself is actually wrong. Why is the logic wrong? This is the logic of actually adding the user. So I'm kind of trying to as the user over here. But what I have to do, I will get all the previous meeting participants, and once I got the previous meeting participants, then I have to filter the value. So I will be having my previous meeting participants just like this, and I have to just simply filter the value, and I will getting the participants dot connection ID. I think that's gonna be the one. If that's not equals to the data dot connection ID, and data itself, that is a participant, so I can even name it here. So the data that I actually have, control D. Is that so? Just a minute, give me a moment. When it comes to this particular data, so I'm sending it from the backend side, and this is just an object, right? So this whole object goes there, and it contains the information about this. This is bad. Let me do it a better. Let me handle it in a better way. This data will be sent, and inside this particular data, I will be sending the user, and this user will contain the information of the disconnected user. So let me send it like this, so that data does not mean the user, rather data has the user. So I can come back here again, and right now the data that I'm actually getting, meeting participant, this is not gonna be like that. Right now this data has the user, and user are the meeting participants, just like this. So data itself is not the user, rather data has the user, and users type is the meeting participants, just like this. And now I can just simply call it like this, data dot user connection ID. So this makes even more sense here. So set meeting state, getting the previous meeting state. From the previous meeting states, whatever I'm gonna return from here, that will be set to the previous meeting participants dot filter, and this is how I'm gonna be going ahead. Let's check exactly what chat GPT did. So chat GPT kind of did the same thing. So yeah, we are right. Even chat GPT, second socket or disconnect is big problem. Why are you disconnecting your own socket? Am I disconnecting my own socket? So this means some other participant disconnected, then you should not disconnect, otherwise. Just a minute. This is the socket connection for the other user, because no way, I'm sorry, I'm crazy. Why am I disconnecting it? Seriously, I've lost my mind. I'm actually disconnecting the others over here, and when I'm actually disconnecting the others, at that time, why do I have to just simply disconnect them? I have to disconnect the user who actually left, and if I actually want to disconnect the user who actually left, so I'm already here, and the user disconnected. This particular user reloaded the page, that means the user automatically got disconnected. So the socket that I have here, so can I disconnect it here at the end? So once everything is done, so socket dot disconnect, even this does not need to happen, because this disconnect event is getting triggered only when the socket got disconnected, so I don't really need to do anything. It is okay, that's fine. So I've done this much. I'm informing others about the new participant, and that is okay. This much is done. And what am I listening to here? Inform new participant about others. And I have these types. So in the data, I have other participants. I have participants count. By the way, I don't really need to have this participant count right now. So let's simply get rid of this. That simply means I'm not gonna be having it here. That simply means I'm not gonna be setting it here. So set meeting state. So I'm not even gonna be setting the other participants here, because of course I'm already saving the value. So once I got the other participants, I'm just simply setting the connection. And for this connection, where is this coming from? this is actually coming from this WebRTC service. Okay, and this is actually gonna be set a new connection just like this. Once I have it here, I can go back here. Wherever I have this set connection, I'm gonna be just simply replacing it with the new one, and this should be fine. Alrighty, by the way, I need to go to my features again and slice or media, I think meeting slice, and over here I have participant count. I'm not going to have it here because right now I already have my meeting participants. I can just directly get the length from here. So these participants counts are not needed. I can just directly go ahead like this, and this much kinds of makes sense. So what is the next thing that I have to do? Next thing, disconnection happened properly, right? So disconnection in the sense, let me first of all close everything, go to socket.ts. This is the backend part, and here I have another socket.ts for the front end part, socket.ts. So these are the two files that I actually have, and whenever, as soon as the user actually reloaded the page, this will get triggered, and when it is triggering, I'm already first of all filtering the user. Once the user is actually filtered, not really, one thing I'm missing here, disconnected user, meeting participants, find, that's okay, I got the disconnected user. Once I got the disconnected user, I got the remaining users, but I'm not removing the user. So removing the user in the sense, I have meeting participants, right? I'm filtering the value, right? But am I actually assigning the value there? Not really. So that user does not need to be the part of meeting participants now anymore. So the meeting participants that I actually have, this is the one. So let's do one thing. I'm gonna be using splice over here. I think that would be better. So okay, these are the remaining participants that I'm getting, that's fine. The another thing is that the remaining users, remaining participants, just think carefully. A user got disconnected. Now that particular user does not need to be the part of the meeting participant. That simply means this meeting participants, when I'm actually filtering, I don't even need to filter. Rather, I need to do one thing. I have to just remove that particular user. As soon as that user is actually removed, disconnected user, then I have to notify the others about that user. This can be like that, don't you think so? So what is the plan right now? It's pretty simple. Instead of doing it like this, I have the disconnected user. This is the user who actually got disconnected, right? Once I got this, so const, I'm actually gonna be splicing the value. So meeting participants dot splice, just like this. Now I need two things. Of course I need to have one here, and there needs to be the index of the user who actually got disconnected. So for getting the index, I can say const user index, and for getting the index, I have the meeting participants, not meeting host, meeting participants. And once I have this particular meeting participants, find index, I will be finding the index, or index of, I can directly get the index, and the index of what? Search element. So for a particular element, I can just simply get the index. By the way, find index, and I will get the person. Once I got the person dot connection ID, I will be just searching for the person using the connection ID only. So socket connection, socket.id. So this is how it's gonna be going on. There can be an easier way. So instead of having getting the disconnected user like this, so once I got the user index, or disconnected user index, so the user who actually got disconnected, the index of the user is this. So meeting participants, find index, getting the particular user using this. Once I got that, after that I can actually get the disconnected user, and so const disconnected user, and disconnected user is gonna be meeting participants, and disconnected user index. So I'm gonna be giving it the index as well. So right now the value of the disconnected user is actually inside this particular variable. After that I can actually remove that particular disconnected user. So disconnected user index, just like this. So remove the user. So user is actually removed from here. Once the user is actually removed, I have the remaining participants, and the remaining meeting participants are actually gonna be informed about the disconnected user. So meeting participants, right now disconnected user is not the part of it. Inform others about the user. Inform others about the disconnected participant. So disconnected, I'm naming it user here, disconnected user, and in the remaining places I'm calling it participant. This naming convention is bad. So disconnected participant index. Now the name is going to be big one, participant index. So disconnected participant index. Disconnected participant. Okay, the naming is okay. I mean, even if the names are big, at least it is clear. Okay, disconnected participant index, this is the one, and disconnected participant, this is gonna be the one. I could have said one thing as well. Okay, disconnected member, yeah, that's also a good one. So disconnected member and all, but that's fine for now. I could have named them user as well, but as I'm naming them participant everywhere, so that is why I'm just going with one convention, so that it's easier to just simply understand the things and all. So already I've done this much, and on the client side I will be getting the participant, meeting participant. So inform new participants, not really this one actually, this one I'm talking about. Inform others about the disconnected participant, and data, and inside the data I will be getting the user. Is that so? Const participant, just like this. Once I got the participant here, so dispatch set previous participants, meeting participants, previous participants dot filter and all. Ultimately I'm getting everything right. Having said that, if we face the errors, then of course we will figure it out then and there. By the way, let me have a comment here, and that comment is gonna be this. Okay, similarly let me have this comment here as well, just like this, and this comment is gonna be here, because sometimes this green color value, I mean message, doesn't really appear like it is actually happening over here. So in that case I will have the comments to just simply understand the things better. So this is how things are actually gonna be going on. So this is kind of okay, not the worst thing ever, right? And lastly I have disconnect. So this is how I'm just simply gonna be going with the things. What is the next thing that I can do? First of all, disconnection happens really well, and after that let's go back to the main. This is not needed. I can restart the server. So let's simply restart the backend, and once the backend is actually restarted, let's simply restart the front end as well. No doubt it's gonna be taking, okay, it did not take some time at all. So that's really a good thing that it is not taking the time. I hope everything's already running well. Okay, it seems to, yeah, I'm audible. And right now how long will it take to just simply load? It is just simply compiling this stuff, and also okay, let it be. What is the going to be the next thing? Let's discuss about that as well. So I can be here, and what all we have done here. So we are asking the user to connect. If that is not host, the request to join permission, granting the permission. If that is a success, I will be adding the user. I will be informing me and as well as others. And if that is a failure, I will be emitting another event, and that is permission denied. And I hope I'm doing the right thing. So whenever I'm actually denying the permission, so what am I doing? Socket disconnect happen. I denied the permission, so that particular user should be socket should be disconnected. That's great. This is the event. And dispatch set meeting state, permission denied, and that actually becomes true. Permission denied becomes true for that particular user, and now the user should actually be redirected to the home page. So if I actually go to the main main app, main meeting page.tsx, over here and this is the permission denied event I'm listening to. Whenever the value of permission denied changes, at that time, if permission denied is actually true, I will be redirecting the user to the home page, and then the value of the permission denied is actually gonna be false. So this is how it is actually going on, and that's kind of good, and it is already on the main meeting page, so it's fine. So this much I've done. What is the next thing that I should be doing? First of all, let's check. I can go to the login page. Again, not login page. It is happening directly. And one more thing. As there is only one user right now, and this information is just getting saved directly. I'm not making any request to the server and all. And if I click on this, so this is the demo user. I can just simply click on the camera and all. And what I want, if other users tries to join it, so if I just open here another, but before even that, let's close this. I'm here, right? And let's check whether this connection works well or not. So a user joined. Well, one more thing, I can come to this services, and this is the event that got triggered, right? So in order to just see what is actually happening, so event, and I will be just simply copying and pasting this event over here, just like this, and the data I got related to the event, so I will be just pasting the data as well. This is really kind of good for logging purpose. This particular event got triggered, and this is the data that I actually got. And the same thing I will actually be doing everywhere, so I hope I'm already doing it here. Yeah, I am. And inform others, I'm not doing it here, so let me do it here as well. CLG, first of all, event. What was the event that got triggered? So this is the event that got triggered. What was the data that I got? So this is the data that I got. Again, good for logging purpose and all, so that if I face some issue, so I can be able to resolve that well. So CLG, again, just for development part, you can even have it for the not good for production, of course. You don't want to log everything just like this, but it's good for now. And I'm gonna be having the data here just like this. It should be fine, at least so far it's good. And just after here, I'm already doing it. Connector, I should be doing it directly here. Okay, am I doing the same thing on the backend side? That is something I have to check. So I already have this log, so I don't need to do anything. And when it comes to this disconnector, okay, turns out CLG event disconnect, just like this. So this is how it will be going on. And similarly, grant join permission, I already have it here. Event grant join permission, I'm gonna be getting the data. Ask to the user, ask to connector. And okay, overall things are fine. The only thing I need to do right now to just simply restart my backend, just like this. And turns out I will have to I did not need it actually, but okay. So this much I've done. The user got connected, and right now if I just reload the page, then let's see what will happen. So the page automatically got reloaded. So first of all, I had the information, then user got disconnected because the page got reloaded. And once the page got reloaded, a new socket got connected, then asked to connect. That particular user actually became the host. If I reload the page one more time, so the previous user information will be removed. So again, the same thing actually happened. Disconnection, event disconnection, then after the connection, then asking the user to connect, and then connecting, and these are the meeting participants that I am actually showing. So this is actually this is what that is actually happening here, and that's kind of a great thing. And this is one of the first users, and after that I can come back here again and just simply click on this. And once I've clicked on this, then this is the user who's trying to join the meeting, and turns out something is wrong. Ask to connect. Am I missing something? Something is wrong. Let me just close everything from here. Not getting the right state the right way. And why am I even facing this issue? I will have to figure that thing out. But first of all, let's simply click and check whether it directly works or not. So I'm here. There's gonna be another user who's gonna be trying to join the same room. Here I am, and okay, I'm getting the option to allow here. And if I click on allow, so the user is going to be allowed. If I click on the deny, the user is going to be denied. Right now I have denied it. Denying in the sense the user has been redirected to the home page, and over here, event disconnect, just a minute. I denied the user. When I actually denied the user, I disconnected. So yeah, event disconnect got triggered. That's fine. Makes sense because I disconnected the user from my own side. So this is fine. And apart from this particular thing, if another user tries to join again, so if I just simply go here, copy the meeting URL, come back here, paste it here, enter it here, and I will be, am I not getting any request here? Turns out, yeah, I'm not getting. Something is definitely missing. What is that? Let's check out the state. So when it comes to the state, Redux. So these are the states that I have, and the state that actually manages model related stuff that is inside meeting. And open model is actually false. Fine, open model is false. If I reload the page here, still it is false. Because there is no joining user. Okay, if I just open it on the another link again, now I'm getting it. So here this is the new user. If I allow it, this user is going to be added and things are gonna be going on like this. Two user got disconnected, that is fine. That simply means if I reload this page, that will actually remain the meeting participants, that is the host. If another user tries to join this like this, so I should be getting a request here, but I'm not getting. So right now when it comes to the if I go to meeting, and inside meeting participants there is no meeting participant. Why is that so? And in this particular section, what is happening? Redux meeting participants, there is no meeting participant as such. So first of all, meeting participant is not being set, and that could be because of what? Yeah, it does make sense, because meeting participants means except me, other meeting participants. So if I'm not getting the current meeting participant, that's fine too. Like that is actually a host, and though the host should be notified as well. So in that case, what will I be doing? If host joins the meeting, if that actually becomes the host in the sense this particular section, I'm adding the user, and if that is actually a host, I will be notifying the host as well. Notifying the host in the sense I'm gonna be triggering another event. So socket emit, just like this, and first of all to, so whom do I want to send the event? This particular event should be sent to the current user. So to socket.id emit notify host connected, just like this. I mean this should be fine, don't you think so? Host should become the part of the participants as well. So as soon as host gets connected, yeah, let's have it like this. So host connected, and I'm just gonna be sending the host information from here. That simply means user will be new participant, just like this. So this is just the event that I'm actually triggering from here, and I will be listening for this particular event here as well. So connection, just after connection, host connected, socket.on host connected, I will be getting the data once I got the data. And just after that, what can I say? Dispatch set meeting state, and in here I will be having meeting participants, just like this. And ultimately the participant is actually gonna be added, and as that's gonna be the first participant, so that should be the host. Okay, let me do one thing. Kind of the same logic I will have. So whatever logic I had here, not the same logic actually, this time it's gonna be a bit different. So I can say I will be getting the previous participants from here, and once I got the previous one, so at that time whatever I return from here, that value is gonna be saved. Is that so? Not really. So I will be getting the previous participants, that's fine, happy with that. And from here I will be returning what? I will be returning all the previous participants, previous dot meeting participants, just like this. And of course I will have to destructure it, so all the previous ones and the current ones. Of course there's gonna be no previous, because host is gonna be the first person joining the meeting, but still I'm just simply adding it here. And data dot user, and this way it's gonna be done. As for the type of this is meeting state, so let's simply have it here, and overall things are done. Let's see whether it is actually working or not. So coming back to this, if I just simply reload the page, not this one actually, coming back to this, if I just simply reload this page, if I click on meeting and meeting participant, the value of the meeting participant is still null. That's fine. That simply means I have to restart my backend, and let's do the same thing with this as well. Close this page, Control W, come back here, restart the backend, restart the front end, click on this, it's going to be opened here, inspect it, click on create new meeting, go to Redux, and go back to state, click on this meeting, no participants, meeting participants, the value is nothing. Okay, one more thing, I will figure it out exactly what's the reason, as the host got connected. So let me do one thing, CLG event is gonna be, this is gonna be super duper helpful, connected, this is gonna be the event, and I will be having the data here. So this is how things are actually gonna be going on. And right now if I come back here, if I go to console log, reload the page, socket connection got established, and after that actually nothing happened. So really, after socket connection got established, ask to connect, meeting participant got added, and once the meeting participants actually got added, isn't it the same event host connected? Is this the wrong way to just simply send it? This event is not triggering, so let me keep it here, maybe at last. Other users there, of course they are not going to be notified here, but this should be working fine, host connected. Or am I doing it the wrong way? If I directly emit it, it will be broadcasted to all. And I think I need to do it whenever a host gets connected. So let me do it just like this, reload the page, socket connected, and that's it, nothing is happening just after that. Interesting. And why is that even happening? CLG done. Okay, done. If it is actually done, in that case, if I'm actually emitting a message from here, host connected, and listening for that particular message here, host connected, data event host connected. So even let me comment this dispatch stuff here, this particular thing only. Why am I not getting the result to see here? Okay, right now I'm getting that interesting stuff. So host connected, I'm getting the user information. So this is the user information that I have, and apart from this particular thing, inside the user I have the user, and then okay, these are the things. If I actually just uncomment this again, and if I just simply reload the page, interesting here. So a non-serializable value was detected in action in payload. So take a look at the logic that dispatches this action. Meeting, set meeting, payload, what is the payload? Well, that's bad. What is the issue here? What am I actually doing? Return meeting participants. I'm missing something here. Yeah, data.user. What is the value of data.user? That is actually an object. So meeting participants contain all the objects. Okay, let me give it to the chat GPT. I mean, most probably things are absolutely right here, because this meeting participants does contain the value of this, and that is actually an array. So if I'm actually returning it from here, that should actually be fine. So if this much is actually getting returned, that contains already the user, previous users and all. So the value is actually going to be set. So what is the issue? Let's see. This is right. So the logic is right, but there are two important things you must check. Duplicate participants problem. If this event fires again for the same host, you will add duplicate entries, because you are blindly doing this. Yeah, safer version. So in that case, I can even check whether the user exists or not. So already exists is the icon. Okay. So it is just simply saying that check whether the user already exists or not. So already exists. If that already exists, then simply return the previous ones from here. Otherwise, just simply add this. So yeah, this is even better too. So let's I mean, it's no use of copying and pasting the stuff, so I can directly check here. Okay, const the user that I'm actually trying to add here. So already exists, just like this. So for checking it, what will I do? For checking it, I need the previous elements dot meeting participants dot find, and I think find was being used there, if I'm not wrong. No, sum actually returns true or false, right? So I can use sum here. Sum will actually return me whether the value actually exists or not, if it follows some condition, right? So a function that accepts up to 3 arguments, the sum method calls the predicate function for each element in array until the predicate returns a value which is comparable to boolean value true until the end of the array. So determines whether the specified callback function returns true for any element of an array. So I'm gonna be knowing more about sum. First of all, this definition, it does not make quite sum in JS. Sum method of an array instance returns true if it finds one element in that satisfies the provided testifying. Otherwise, it returns false. So even if one element is true, it returns false. I mean, it returns true. Okay, so sum, and what will I be doing? I will be getting, of course, the person. Once I got the person dot connection ID, and if the connection ID is equals to what, the current one, that simply means that's equals to data dot user dot connection ID. So this is how I will be going ahead. That simply means already exists, and if already exists, in that case just simply return the previous value. Otherwise return this particular stuff from here, and that's the same thing that was actually happening here, right? So it is going on like this. But the problem is, if I go to console and if I reload it, so to allow non-serializable values. Take a look at this. What does it mean by non-serializable? A non-serializable value was detected in action. So in action, in path payload, and this all just a sec. Come on, yaar. All array, yeah, what is this? Already existed this. Okay. So payload. What do I have inside payload? Inside my payload, I have these things, and caller. How about the previous value? Arguments. Let's first of all know the reason behind this. Here I am. I haven't added something that is actually non-serializable, so that could be because I'm using the previous value. I'm not sure, but let's see. Redux toolkit is warning a non-serializable value was detected in action payload and all. So what is actually happening? Dispatch. It was quite obvious, this previous simple stuff. So this means your action payload is a previous, and that is a function. Redux requires action must be serializable. Functions are not serializable. That's why you are getting this warning. So why this pattern works in React but not Redux? I mean, this is something that works on React. That is why I thought of using it, but it does not work in Redux. So state previous value works because React internally handles functional updates, but Redux reducers already receive state, so you should not pass a function to dispatch. Okay, correct way is gonna be this. So dispatch set meeting state, I will be getting, instead of this, do this. What am I doing here? Add participant, and inside the slice it is actually asking me to do this. So when I'm actually adding the participant, in that case state meeting participants, so from here it directly gives me the state, and I'm just simply gonna be pushing the value to the state directly from here. That's okay. This is gonna be the best one. Create proper reducer. Okay, apart from this thing, if using set meeting state, dispatch meeting participant current meeting data.user current participants, then pass plain object only, and these current participants I will have to get using selector. So but you must get a current participants using use selector before dispatch. Yeah, obviously. Okay, let's go ahead. So the thing is that this works in React Redux. Sorry, it works in React, but this particular method does not work in Redux directly because of that particular thing. First of all, I will have to close this, and ultimately I will have to delete all these things from here, just like this. I will have just simply one thing here, meeting participant, meeting participants, just like this, and I will actually return an array. It will contain all the current participants, and it will contain the data.user, just like this. But the question is, how will you get the current participant? For getting the current participants, I will have to use selector, and for using the socket events, I'm already inside what? I'm inside a function. That means I cannot really get the, but I have the store, I can get it. So I can come back here, const store, sorry, current participants, they are gonna be equals to store dot get state, just like this dot from where will it be coming? It will be coming from the meeting dot meeting participants. So I will be getting all the meeting participants just like this. Once I have the meeting participants, after that I can get the current participants. They are the kind of the meeting participants, and then I'm getting this thing done. Quite interesting. And apart from this particular thing, I can even check whether the current user actually exists there or not. And for this particular stuff, I can cut it, and I can have a function here, and that function is actually gonna be returning whatever I wanted to return. So let's simply return this value. But before returning this value, I'm gonna be checking one thing. Const already already exists. And if it already exists, how will I check it? I already have current participants dot sum dot, of course I will get the participant dot connection id, if that's triple equals to data dot user dot connection id, not connect, that should actually be connection id. So connection id, in that case that is already exist, and if that already exists, then if already exists, first of all correct the spelling, already exists, in that case don't do anything, just return the current participants, and that's it. If that does not exist, then I will be adding it. It turns out I'm facing the same error here as well. I tried to use this previous related stuff, but this is no doubt never ever gonna be working. So when I'm actually removing the participant from here, so const I will be getting the current participants, and they will be coming from store dot get state dot meeting participants, just like this. Once I got them, what is the issue? By the way, that's not an actually function, so I can just get them like this, and once I have them, after that I actually have to remove that from the meeting participant, but before that even I have to check whether that is actually the part of that or not. So let's cut this much from here, let's get rid of this, or to be precise, I'm not gonna be doing much, rather the way is gonna be quite straightforward. Let's simply remove this part, and this current participant value I will directly have it here, just like this. So meeting participants are actually gonna be the value of the current participants, is that so? I do think so. So current participants dot filter, and mistake I made, let me paste it here again. So the current participants dot filter, I will be just getting the filtered value. Once I got the filtered value, I'm just returning the same, and it will be set. Interesting stuff. So this is how it will be getting done. Let's try this thing now. Coming back here, reload the page. You've got to be kidding me. Why am I still getting this? Non-serializable value got deducted. Host connected, getting the participants, needing this meeting participants. Once I got the meeting participants, already current participants dot sum already exist. If already exists, return this. Otherwise, go with this current participant data dot user. Sounds right. Right now the problem is still there. Take a look at the logic that dispatch this action. Isn't this right? At least because of these errors, I'm just learning more about Redux, exactly how it works and all. You are very close, but you are still doing the same mistake. That is a function. Redux does not allow functions inside actions. That's why you are getting non-serializable error. So even though you are using store get state outside, you are still passing a function. That is the problem here. So once I got that, so okay, current participants, I got that. I'm checking whether that already exists or not. If already exists, return data, otherwise just simply add the value directly. Okay, let's keep it simple. The thing is that I'm using this particular function, and because of this thing, this is the I'm just facing the issue. So in that case, I will have to go ahead like this, and going ahead like this in the sense, let's simply keep these values outside, just like this, and let's not have this return here, just like this, and I will be having it like this. So first of all, I will get the current participant, then I am gonna be checking whether the value already exists or not. If it is already exists, then I will be returning from here. I will not be dispatching. Otherwise I will be just simply dispatching it, set meeting state, meeting participants and current participant data.user. So this is how it should be going. Same mistake is there. I am actually using a function here too, and in order to get rid of this error I will have to get rid of this function, and just like this. Probably I'll have to remove this part as well, and this. What is the issue? Filter, then this, and okay, this seems to be fine. Alright, this is great. It's crazy, but okay. So ultimately what will I be doing? Current participant, and instead of the value here directly, this is fine too. What am I doing here? I'm just simply filtering the value just inside that, and that is understandable. So let's simply go ahead and see whether I'm actually facing the same error or not. Reload the page. Thankfully not now. And what is this? The resource http localhost did this was preloaded using link preload, but not used within a few seconds from the window load. Please make sure it is an appropriate as value. It is preloaded intentionally. Okay, I will be digging deeper into it very soon, but for now let's go here, meeting, and right now inside the meeting I have one user at the 0th index, and this is the user that I'm talking about. So yeah, it is working. So users are connected, and right now what will I be doing? I can just go there again. Redux is gonna be here, and inside meeting of course I'm gonna be watching the states here. State over here I have one user, and let me send another request here, and I should be getting a join request here. I'm not getting that, and there's only one user, and the value of open model is still false, and that is insane. And when it comes to this particular user, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. That simply means I'm missing something. When it comes to the particular user that I have, this particular user is a host, right? Host is already true, as there is only one user and this is a host is already true. That simply means when another user tries to join, like this one, so why am I not getting any request here? So let's check this thing out. First of all, meeting participants done. I will have to actually stop it. I can go back to my server, and host connected, that is fine, and I can say CLG user is a host, just like this, and otherwise CLG user is a participant, just like this, and then it should be added, right? Yeah, at least I think so, but let's see what's gonna be happening. And if it is a participant, then of course there should be meeting participants, so I'm gonna be printing that. And if it is actually a host, then there's gonna be no meeting participants at all. So let's even check this particular thing. So this is how I'm gonna be going ahead. I'm gonna be restarting it, but before even that, done, where am I printing it? Meeting participants, and just below that I got done. Done is for what? Control F, done. Literally I don't have it here, because what? Because it should be it's okay, I'll figure it out exactly where it is used, but for now let's simply restart the backend. Once it is actually restarted, wait for a while, then here it is. So first of all you got this, then it was a host. After that socket connection got established. Oh yeah, this was the thing. Asked to connect the participants. That's user is a participant and host is actually user is a participant and host is actually true. That's insane. Okay, I'm getting an option to allow here, so let's simply get it off, allow it first of all, and as soon as that is allowed, so meeting participants, there are two users and permission granted. So yeah, it kinds of it is working, right? So let's get rid of this. The user must have got disconnected, so user got disconnected, and if I just simply reload this particular page one more time, so over here user is a host, meeting participant just this much, and if another user tries to join the same room, and now the real thing will happen. So connection got established, asked to connect, the user is the participant, that is right, and this is the host information that I already had. That simply means on the host side I should be getting an event that I'm not getting, so that is the real problem. So CLG socket connected, and because that was a participant, in that case as that is a participant, what am I doing here? User is a participant, I'm getting the meeting host. Once I got the meeting host, so meeting host connection ID, meeting host connection ID, and I'm just simply emitting request to join meeting, not meeting host. CLG send sent a request to join. What is the issue here? I'm missing something really important thing, but what is that? I have no idea, at least yet. So user participants sent to join, that's okay, and this is the join request that I got. I can just simply connect and this is kind of working right now. Event inform new participant about other users and all, so this event even got triggered, but inform new participant about others, so others they have 0, participant count is 2, you and the other person. Even I have to fix this the right way, but never mind, this is happening quite the right way. Reload the page. Tree hydrated, so this date.now is causing the issue, or maybe math.random is actually causing the issue. Never mind, I'm getting it here to allow, and once it is actually allowed, there this is how I will be getting the data now. Okay, right now not getting the error, and if I try to join the same room using another socket ID, then I will be getting a request to allow here again. But okay, I'm getting that. If I just simply reload the host itself, or if I just get rid of this, I reloaded the host this time, so host itself got removed and then new host came here, and right now if I just copy it and paste it here, enter it, and now I'm not getting this. So ultimately the problem is, if somehow you disconnect the host and then you connect the host again, then it is not working as expected. Send to join is fine, okay, this is the user information you are getting, that's right too. So what is the issue? This is the host, that's only one user right now, and here I'm getting that only one user. User is the host and there's only one user right now. If the another person tries to join the same room, I'm not getting any request over here. And why is that so? Sent a request to join, that is sent, but over here if I go to console, I'm not getting the request, at all. So this is the issue that I'm actually facing. The question is, if I reload the page, the host page, the host gets out of, I mean a new host comes, as simple as that. And as the new host comes, that new host will have its own ID, and on the everything is fine. So what is the issue? Whew. I got kind of, yeah, I am closer to 0, but still not able to figure it out. Initially it works, but if I reload the page, it does not work. So if I do the same thing here again, send a request to join, I'm getting it here. That's fine. If the other users tries to join, so there are gonna be more than one user as well. So I'm getting the request again here. If another user joins, I'm gonna be getting the request again here. So ultimately there are gonna be 1 2 3 users inside the same meeting, so it is working fine. But if by mistake, if this user leaves, then okay, don't really have any problem. Another user can again make a request. I reloaded the host, then that becomes a problematic thing. Right now there is no host, so that is okay. So let me do one thing. Here I am. If I reload this page, so the host user actually becomes the host, and as the user is actually host, if the another person tries to join the same room, I'm not getting the request here. Why is that so? I think I should be taking a break for a while right now. The first time this works, to meeting host and connection ID. The problem could be that this connection ID does not exist anymore. So if disconnection actually happens, okay, whenever the user is actually disconnected, just like this one. So if a user is disconnected, how to disconnect the connection ID? I think that is the reason. Socket.disconnect. I think I don't even need to do this, but let's see. Socket got disconnected. Of course I will have to restart it. If the socket actually got disconnected, then what? Let's see what. True. If the user actually tries to join it, then of course I will get the allow button. I can allow the user. But if I just simply reload this page one time, then socket got disconnected, and Control C, Control V. Not getting. Gonna take a break right here. Don't know what is. One thing is clear. The thing is that as soon as I reload the page, reload the host page. If I reload the other ones, then that's okay. That's fine. But if the host that I have, if I reload this page, after that, if other user actually tries to join the same meeting, in that case, the host does not get the allow request here, and that simply means the user is not able to join and not able to figure the real thing out. Let me ask the AI, if I reload the host page and the next time if the new user tries to join the meeting, the new host doesn't get join request to join event. This is very this is a very real WebRTC socket architecture problem. This is not WebRTC. Okay. This is a socket life cycle room logic issue. So let's break it clearly. Your situation: host creates meeting, a user can join, request join works. Yeah. Host refreshes the page, host reconnects, new user tries to join, host does not receive. Yeah, exactly, this is the problem. So what actually happened when host refreshed, old socket connection died. That simply means old socket.id is gone, old room membership is gone, old event listeners are gone. After refresh, a brand new socket connection is created, but maybe host is not rejoining the room properly. Server still thinks old socket was host. Host role mapping wasn't updated. Most common causes. After refresh, you must re-emit a socket emit join meeting ID and role host. If you don't, the server doesn't know this is a host. Server is still storing old host socket ID. So on server, you might be doing something like meetings meeting ID host ID socket.id, but when the host refreshes, old socket disconnects. So but you never update. Let me share my code and tell me the error. So ultimately this is the code that I actually have. Control C, and let's see what kind of issue there is. So your issue is 100% in this logic. In which logic? Meeting exists, meeting participants find. This is wrong logic for determining host versus participant. Let me explain clear. Yeah, that's right. What's happening after host refreshes? When host refreshes, old socket disconnects. So you probably remove them from meeting participants, or they were never stored there. Meeting host still contains oh, literally meeting contains old host is empty, new user tries to join. This is the conflict. So your server thinks, oh, this is must be a host, and just a minute, uh, meeting participants or they were never stored there. Meeting host still contains old host and or is empty, new user tries to join, this condition fails. Yeah, sorry, missing one thing here. Got it. Got the problem, but core problem is the you are using many participants to determine whether this is that is wrong. Meeting existence should not depend on the participants, so it should depend on meeting hosts. So if there's any host that actually exists and all, so logical work meeting participants fine, so I should be meeting exist undefined, then this meeting host. So correct logic should actually be meeting host over there. If host exists, user is participant. If it does not exist, user becomes this fixed version. Ask to connect. I will be getting it from the meeting host, and then I will be checking it. New participant, request to join. Okay, overall the problem is that not only I have two things here. Meeting participant, what is this? Not quite used yet, so let's get rid of this. So at the end of the day, there are two states that I'm actually managing. I hope I'm gonna be able to just have a look at them. So this is the first one, meeting participants, and the another one is meeting hosts. And over here, whenever I'm asking to connect, so at that time I'm using meeting participants, and the value of that is of course gonna be null. Then that's gonna be problematic. So in that case, first of all, I'm gonna be using meeting hosts over there, because there can be more than one meeting host. So if one leaves, so at least another one should be there. And the another thing is that whenever I'm actually disconnecting, so from here the user is actually disconnected, so disconnected participant index, so I got the disconnected participant index, that's fine, and I'm removing that particular user as well. But not only that, I'll have to check one more thing. Okay, this is the disconnected participant that I have. Okay, now I have to check const is host. If I'm gonna be checking whether disconnected participant is actually a host, so disconnected participant dot is host. If the value is actually true, so if it is actually host, then I'm actually going to remove it from the host as well. And for this thing, again I will have to splice the value. So meeting hosts are gonna be there dot, I'm gonna be splicing it, splice. Of course I need to have the host index here, and I will have to have the one value, like one index. The first value, I mean from the index, the first value I want to remove. So the index that I'm at, only the first value is gonna be removed. It's just like that. And right now I need to have the host index. So if that is actually host, so const host index is actually gonna be what, host or meeting hosts dot find index. And let me do one thing as well. Coming back to this inspect console, I just want to test one thing. Console const array 1 to array, just like this. arr dot index of 1, it will be giving me 0. And arr find index number, if that's number triple equals to 1 or double equals to 1, it will be giving me 0. So but over here, if can I use index of here? So index of what, index of the whole object, that is not possible. So that simply means index of for the normal values, and if I have complex ones, so I will have to go with index, find index. I will be getting the person dot connection ID triple equals to disconnected participant dot connection participant dot connection ID, just like this. So if person's connection ID, or this is actually gonna be host, so control D, this should be host. So host's connection ID, if that's actually equals to disconnected participant's connection ID, then I'm gonna be just simply removing that, and this is how it should be going on. And that's it. Let's see whether it works right now or not. Quite a lot just got done this right here, but let's see now. If I just simply reload the page, I have a host, true, that's fine. And right now, if I go back to this and another user tries to join it, is still facing the same issue, because I haven't restarted the backend. So as the backend gets restarted, right now I'm getting the allow option here, and if I just close this and reload this page again, and another user tries to join this, amazing, superb, nothing could be better than this, yeah, fantastic. Like even if I reload this page, okay, let's close this. If I reload this page, doesn't matter, even 1000 times, it doesn't really matter. And even after reload, if the other actually user tries to join the room, so over here I'm getting this allow button, and I can actually allow the user. And that's been the error that I've been facing for so long. Of course, the camera was being, I haven't been turning on the camera, but like the camera hasn't been on, but it was being used from this Chrome side. So this has been pretty much fantastic. Wow. The thing is that I was maintaining two states. First one is meeting participants, that contained all the participants, and there was the another array for the meeting hosts, because there can be more than one host, right? So if one host leaves the meeting, that's okay. The request will go to the another host, right? It's just gonna be like that. And that was something that was the issue. And one more thing that can be done, whenever I'm actually sending whenever a user tries to join the meeting, at that time what am I doing? First of all, let me get rid of this. Apart from this particular thing, I'm gonna be finding the host. So whoever is the first host, the request is gonna be going to that particular host. So it's not like if there are 10 hosts in a meeting, so the allow request will go to the 10 hosts. No, it's not gonna be like that. Rather, the first host will be found, and the meeting request actually is going to be going to go to that particular host, and that particular host can actually allow or just simply remove the user. Remove the host, just like this, and overall things are fine. So let's simply collapse this. At least we have resolved the issue, the error that we had. We have figured it out, and now we can just simply continue from here on and keep working on more things. So this is how we have got quite important things done. And right now, whenever I'm gonna be going live, that simply means it's 6 past 6. So let's be back after half an hour. So it's been 1 hour and 51 minutes and all. So okay, then what network issue? Don't know why I'm facing it, but never mind. So I'm gonna be back after half an hour or something. Until then, take care, and then we will continue from here on. Bye bye, take care, and see you soon. And I'm gonna be catching up soon.